Entitled cousin tries to convince me to switch engagement rings and loses her mind when I refuse. Hello Redditors. I've been watching YouTube videos about Reddit stories and thought I might share this one story about my cousin. Also, English is not my first language, so please bear with me. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. So this happened 3 months ago. Me and my boyfriend at the time had decided to get married, but he still wanted to have a proper proposal, so we went out for dinner. Nothing really fancy. And then he asked and I said yes, obviously, and the ring he bought is kind of expensive with a huge diamond in the middle and small ones surrounding it. This is obviously important to the story. I don't really care though. He could get me a plastic ring and I'd still be happy since I'm going to spend the rest of my life with the love of my life. So as you can guess, I was giddy with happiness. A couple of days later my cousin shares one of those I said yes posts on Instagram and I call her to congratulate her, and she immediately starts bragging about the proposal. A big surprise, on a boat, live music, expensive wine, as she mentioned about 10 times in 5 minutes, etc. Then she says we should meet up with our other 2 girl cousins. We normally get together once every few months anyway, so I agree. We'll get together and celebrate both our engagements. So the day comes and I do all the preparations as we're meeting at my place. Although I did expect her to help out since it was a celebration for both of us, I didn't say anything. So the 4 of us are sitting in the living room and the cousin once again starts telling us about the proposal, which all of us knew about as she had told every one of us this story already. But we listen to her, thinking she is just so sexist that she wants to talk about it all the time. It's fine, but she also keeps bringing up how her diamond ring is just not her style, and how she would rather something more appropriate. Whatever that means. Then she asks me how my proposal was in this condescending way. I tell her it was nothing fancy, just dinner, and he pops the question. My other cousins thought it was sweet since they knew I didn't like big surprises and over-the-top proposals. But the entitled cousin gets this weird look on her face and says guess he had no money left after buying that ring, points to it with a judging look on her face. No wonder he didn't do anything special. If you weren't focused so much on the size of the diamonds, maybe you would get a special night like I did. I am out of words. I didn't expect this at all. And my other cousins are just looking at one another and then me as if saying WTF just happened? I tried to explain how I didn't like big events, so my night was special enough and that I didn't ask for any kind of ring and my boyfriend just picked something himself for me and I'd be fine with any other ring he gave me. And she says half jokingly, why don't we switch then? Since you don't care anyways. I decide she is joking and laugh and say something along the lines of yes sure. Why not? It's only an engagement ring after all. I'm not really sure what exactly I said as I was still trying to figure out what the fuck I had just been dragged into. She laughs and says something like it would look better on me anyways since your fingers are all chubby. I'm a chubby girl, so yeah, my fingers are a little thick, so I'm offended obviously. I do feel bad about my weight already, so her bringing up as a joke was annoying as fuck. One of the other cousins, who is 8 years older than us, realizes I'm about to explode, so she interrupts and changes the subject and asks about the wedding plans. And the ring issue is over. Or so I thought. Entitled cousin talks about how her wedding will be the dream fairy tale wedding, etc. And when they ask me, I say we'll have a small ceremony since we want to go to a tour around Europe and want to spend minimum on the wedding in order to save more for the tour. Entitled cousin just chuckles and says, you don't have to pretend with us, sweetheart, we are family. There's nothing wrong with not being able to afford a nice wedding. I just snap at her. I'm sure someone with enough money to buy a huge diamond also has money to have a big wedding. We just don't want to spend money on something as extravagant as a horse-pulled carriage. She wanted to get one of those for the wedding, and it's not like me to brag about money, but I knew this would affect her the most. After this point, it's just the 2 of us taking digs on each other while the other cousins try to find a middle ground between us. This continues until the 2 cousins decide it's time to leave. I expected the entitled cousin to leave with them, but she stays behind to help with the cleaning up. I don't buy it. After we see them out, entitled cousin pretends to help me while still annoying the fuck out of me until I clean everything up. Then we sort of stand there awkwardly with her looking at me expectantly. I ask her if she wanted something and oh boy, she says she would like to leave so I should give her the ring. What the fuck? She was serious. She thought I was going to switch rings with her. My engagement ring. For real. I ask her what the fuck she's talking about and she says, well, you promised me your ring. With this look on her face that says, are you stupid or something? I say I was only joking and I wouldn't give her my ring. Not because it was expensive, but because it was my fucking engagement ring. And she flips. What do you mean you were joking? You promised. You promised in front of cousin 1 and cousin 2. Were you lying to them so they wouldn't know how selfish and superficial you are? And I'm like, no, I said it as a joke because no sane person would ask for someone else's engagement ring. She says she doesn't want to take mine and she would also be giving hers to me. She says it would suit her better anyways and a big stone like that just wouldn't go with the cheap stuff I wear. I've had enough and I tell her this, ask her to leave my apartment and not to contact me again. She says she won't leave without her ring. I repaid what I said and she screams about how I lead her on and how selfish I was and how I was ruining her dream and how my fiancé would leave my fat ugly ass. Anyways, that he would find someone better sooner or later and I'd be history, which hit home pretty close. I am a little insecure about my body as I said earlier. I don't know what came over me, but I remember her saying those words and then my hand was on her face. Normally I would never hit someone on purpose, but I was seeing red. And obviously she didn't just stand there after I slapped her, so we got into a little bit of a fight in the middle of the kitchen. Thank God, my fiancé walked in on us soon after and got us away from each other. Apparently he just got home and heard the screaming from the kitchen. She claimed I attacked her, which was kind of true, and wanted to have her engagement ring as I hated the one he gave me. My fiancé and I have been dating for 5.5 years and we've been living together for the last 3 years, so he knows me better than that. He asks me what happened and I explain, over the shrieking voice of the entitled bitch. After listening to me, my fiancé tells my cousin that if she doesn't leave our apartment he will be calling the police. She insists that I attacked her for a few times but gives up eventually, then gathers her stuff and leaves, all the while swearing at us at the top of her lungs. I was just crying in the kitchen the whole time as my fiancé made sure she left. She also told her parents that I tried to take her ring and when she refused I attacked her. They believed her and her mom, and my mom had a huge fight over it and they don't talk to each other anymore. My 2 other cousins say they think I'm in the right but they still agreed to be her bridesmaids. So yeah, I don't think I'll ever be able to forget that day. Sorry it's a bit long. I didn't want to leave out all the drama. TLDR, cousin likes my engagement ring better, asks to switch as a joke, and I laugh and say yes, thinking it's a joke. Afterwards she asks me to give her the ring, I refuse. She says it doesn't fit me as I'm fat and ugly and my fiancé would leave me eventually anyways. I smack the shit out of her. Then she blames me for the whole thing. Our families don't talk to each other anymore.